everyone, Morgan here. You like my printed sign here? I can't find my flag since we moved. Everything is so still disorganized. So I adapted, I overcame, and I printed one. Boom! There's no rush to get prepared. This is not a race. This is a journey, okay? Everybody gets so worked up about, well, I don't know where to start, that they just don't do anything, and so they procrastinate, or they have analysis paralysis, or whatever the case may be, and they just don't do anything. Yes, preparedness is important. When I first started getting prepared, well over 10 years ago, I literally just every time I went to the store, I would buy food and just throw it in a bin. The black bins with the yellow lids, the totes that I still use to this day. I used to just fill it. I'd buy canned foods and rice and beans. I wouldn't even repackage it in Mylar bags. I just threw it in a bin and that was it. And that's how it should be. Like, it shouldn't be so complicated, okay? And later on, I got into Mylar bags and filling buckets and all these things. You don't have to start from a perfect perspective, because there is no such thing as perfect. Listen to that again. There is no such thing as perfect. And this is especially true when it comes to preparedness. I get so worked up, I can't say the P's. So anyway, I am going to tell you a few things that I feel you should focus on, but this is not a hard and fast rule. The very first rule I want you to look at is your life. What does your life look like? I want you to basically recreate your life to where if the power to go out, or there's a natural disaster or something were to happen, you can take care of it, right? If the power to go out and you don't have any way to cook, how would you cook, right? Just ask yourself these what if questions. And I am going to be having a video coming up soon that has a whole bunch of what if questions that you can ask you, your spouse, your kids, whatever, about how to get prepared. And this will get you guys thinking. There's also the conflicted card games, which are really awesome to help get your mind thinking about more kind of drastic scenarios, but just scenarios in general. Okay, so let's get into it. If you don't have a huge budget, I get it, okay? I don't buy toothpaste a lot. So I might buy toothpaste every once in a blue moon, but I might go to the dollar store to get their dollar toothpaste, right? So I don't have to buy toothpaste from the store. I'll go to the dollar store and get like their dollar toothpaste. Now I have one extra toothpaste, right? It really is as simple as that. And we don't have to make it super complicated. Here's where else I would try to focus on if you don't have a huge budget. Water. Water is a heavily underrated prep. If you can get just a gallon of water each time you go to the store, so each time you go grocery shopping, you can buy a gallon of water. It costs maybe anywhere from $1 to $2, depending on which one you get. Stick that away. You're already getting your water prepped, right? And that's going to be a huge help. Just every time you go to the grocery store, just 1 or 2 gallons of water. It adds up fast, trust me. The next is food. Again, when you're at the grocery store, just get a few extra cans of food. Now, other non-perishable foods like pastas and rice, things that you eat, okay? Get things that you eat. If you normally eat fresh foods like fresh corn and stuff like that, it's good to have the canned version of those things because that's non-perishable. So you'll eat that fresh stuff every day, right? But then you'll also have that canned stuff for every day, plus emergencies, disasters, whatever the case may be. Canned foods last a long time, way past people think that their expiration. Again, that will add up so much over time if you just keep, adding to it. So you got your gallon of water, then you got your few cans of food. Here we go. The next one is plans. Have your emergency disaster plan ready. I have a full guide on how you can write an emergency disaster plan so easy and so fast you could do it in an afternoon if you wanted to. Go down to the link down below in the description to learn how you can write your own emergency disaster plan. This is pretty important, especially if, for like communication plans, what would force you to ever leave your home or evacuate? And this gets discussions going. Well, what would I do in this scenario? What would I do if we had to leave our home? Where would we go? And what sort of checklists do we have? Speaking of checklists, I have a bunch of free checklist downloads at my website, linked down below in the description. The next one is fitness. A lot of people take this for granted. We take our health and wellness just for granted these days, especially, with the age of scrolling, with the age of rush, you got to go do this, all this. We live in a rush society, and we live in a very pressured society these days, with just a lot of just everywhere our attention is being pulled in one direction or the other. But not just our mental health, but our physical health as well. Because we have so many options these days about what we can eat, it's not what we can eat, but what we should be eating, right? So we could technically make better choices maybe, or, we can go for that walk after dinner. And, that's a start. We got to start somewhere. And with our mental health, just take a break from Instagram, okay? Take a break from the news. Get your mind in order. Go touch some grass. Of course, skills. Skills is one of the greatest things that you can do without any budget. You can do this with basically no budget. You can go to your local park, and most of them have little barbecues, and you can start a fire in that barbecue. Great, now you're learning and practicing fire making skills. You can also go to a local park and find some sticks off the ground and make little shelters. Just have fun with it. Like, this isn't complicated. And learning skills you can get from blogs and books and YouTube and social media and wherever else you want to find it, and find the skills and just try something like once a month. Don't even put a lot of pressure on yourself. If you're like, listen, I just don't have time for more than once a month, great, that's okay. Once a month is okay. Make it work for you and your schedule, but try to fit it in at least once a month. I like to do it at least once a week, but once a month is okay. I have a huge list of skills that you can do linked down below in the description. First aid and medicine. I do believe these are extremely important to focus on. You know what? I use my first aid kit almost daily with my children. Not even on myself. Actually, just the other day, I cut my nail, not my finger, thankfully. I was peeling potatoes and I cut my nail. But I had first aid supplies if I were to cut my finger. All I did was clip the nail. But anyway, I am using the first aid kit with my kids like basically every day because they're outdoor kids. They fall, they scrape their knees, they get bug bites, whatever the case may be. There's preventative medicine, like bug spray and sunscreen. And then there's the first aid for after something happens. And then there's trauma kits, and there's learning the skills. It's not just having the kits, but learning the first aid skills themselves as well. And of course, the medicine that goes along with it, stocking over-the-counter medication and getting your JACE antibiotics for just in case. Here is the most important piece of advice that you should take from this video. Listen, take it slow. The world is not ending tomorrow. I understand the news and other prepping channels on YouTube and things may make it out to be like that, but it's not. I have been at this a long, long time, and I've been through a lot where people have said the world is coming to an end, and it doesn't. And even if we are headed into dire times, Civil War or World War or whatever the case may be, these steps that I'm talking about, prepping just a little bit at a time, still holds true. Okay? And those are the things that I feel you should focus on. Water, food, fitness, skills, first aid, and medicine. Those can help you get by for a while. And of course, there's more you can expand on with your preparedness. There's a ton of tips and things on my YouTube and blog and all this. But just take a breath. It's okay. We got this. I know you got this. You can do this. No matter what budget you have, you got this. Thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. Here's another video that's somewhere on the screen that you should go check out to see how you can build up your food storage.